Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Nosco's Unpacked. I'm here today with Raul Matos, good friend of mine. Raul's from Karlville Converting Equipment. He's in the flexible packaging, pouches, that type of business. So welcome, Raul.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Lovely. Always coming up here. Very nice.
So, Raul, we've known each other a long time. Maybe you share a few things with the audience about you. What's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food. I mean, nothing like Puerto Rican food, but it's a little heavy. I do like fish because I like fishing and we fish together.
Raul's a big fisherman.
Yeah, there you go.
Raul's a big reader too.
Yes.
You got a good book you've read recently?
Oh, well, you know, I did read recently one from David Graham. Great David Graham. I went to school with, The Killer of the Moonflowers. Yeah, that one was pretty cool. And I got that guy. He's just one of these writers that takes history and he's an investigative. He worked with the New Yorker. And
have you seen the movie on that?
Yes, I did. Incredible. I saw the movie after, so it really is nice. So that one's good. I read a lot of fly fishing stuff.
You got me to read the book, and then I watched the movie. I thought it was it's a great story.
It really is super nice.
Really great story. So Raul's from lives in Miami now, right?
That's right.
He's a Miami guy.
South Beach. I've been there almost 26 years down in South Point. Yep, down there in South Beach.
It's one of my favorite places.
It's a great place. Always happy to have people there.
Love Miami.
Yeah.
How long you been in this flexible packaging business, Raul?
I've been in the business now probably 40. I did see a 60 Minutes when I was in college. 60 Minutes article, or not a show on waste, and it was an archaeologist, William Rafferty. He was digging up landfills in the 80s, and I think they went down to New York City. What's the biggest problem? Everybody, plastic. And then he went around and he was digging landfills, University of Arizona, I believe, and he found that paper was the biggest problem because, the landfill is an anaerobic environment. So a piece of chicken might take 1,000 years to degrade. So, now with plastics, they would, especially flexible packaging, there's just so efficient in terms of space and in terms of, sustainability. I think in the future, you'll find that plastics will be made with specialized materials that will turn, an anaerobic environment become gas. So it'll be circular in that case, So
that's what got you excited about.
That's what got me excited. And I got a job with Mobile Chemical up in upstate New York, and to the bench strength program. We learned everything. It was the most incredible 6 months of my life. I went all around the country, understanding, from the petrochemical sites to bag making. Mobile Chemical was really the industry innovator, invented the bag. We did everything. So I was very familiar with bags, and I saw the pouch there. We did sliders. I worked with a buddy of mine, Toby Thomas, and a lot of Mark Dutt. It was my boss, really. And we did, there was a machinery group, and I got to experience that, build machines, and I saw the slider probably in 89 when I graduated, 90, 91, early 90s. So I was in the...
When did you start your own company?
So that was after I met the sales guys, and they were like, "Come to sales, Raul. What are you doing?" And I got to the factories. It was just huge. And then I got into sales. I really learned a lot, from that's, I always tell young people, you got to go for the big companies, learned. And I learned. And then one of my buddies from, my fraternity buddies from the University of Pennsylvania, met some guys, and we just started our business. We're just two brokers selling machines, and we got really good at it, and we created our own brand, Karlville, and just blew up in the shrink sleeves. We partnered up with press suppliers, specifically, with a Flexo at the beginning. Neil Peter was a good buddy of ours, and then we did with Indigo and some trade shows, and then suddenly we became HP partners. Boom. And then we took that relationship to the next level, from shrink sleeves to flexible packaging. And they gave us the opportunity to build a pack ready machine. And it's been a pretty good ride. We took the pouches from 10-week lead time to 1 day. And that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. That was good.
I remember the first time I met you, you were talking about the digital pouch factory.
Yeah.
So what was in a digital pouch factory?
So the digital pouch factory has, obviously an indigo press.
Yeah.
And then you have a laminator. It could be thermal or solventless or combination, the new combi. It's got a slitter, and the slitter can come just a regular slitter for flexible. It could have labels, shrink, or it could also do, with embellishments. We work with JetFX, also with Ed. And then a pouch machine. Those three, and we have 2 digital pouch factories installed, one in Atlanta, one in Barcelona, and we support that on a daily basis with HP. Whatever they need, they've got, so we're there, big partner. And these things will be connected to print OS, everything in the future, artificial intelligence. It's all happening. So
as you grew up the business, you were doing pouching machines, slitting machines, laminating machines.
Yes, that's correct.
You were supporting HP applications and then other general applications out in the industry, right?
Absolutely.
And I shouldn't forget shrink sleeves.
Oh,
shrink sleeves too.
Shrink sleeves. That was really the first. I mean, shrink and pouch really started, almost at the same time. But shrink sleeves really exploded to us because we were there was a company from France that did okay, but we were just innovators, and now we just dominate with the shrink sleeves and, the new technology for automation and production for the very high volumes. It's incredible to ride, 2,000 machine. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. In countries like even Mongolia, I mean, shrink sleeve, we produce Mongolian shrink sleeve for goat milk. I've never been there, but they use our machines and everywhere, all throughout Africa, Middle East, everywhere.
So truly global installations.
Absolutely. The shrink sleeve.
All right.
Yeah. And in the pouch, we've always been there. But I always say in the pouch, we've kissed a lot of frogs. We were brokers, and we went little by little until we found back to our roots with the Swiss. And, we came back and we started back after we signed with HP with the Pack Ready. We went to Swiss, and we went to HP. We're like, if we make a machine that could change over in 30 minutes, would that be of interest? And HP was super interested in that. And it just blew up. And we started making our machines, John and I, along with Gianfranco and Gustavo in Switzerland. We started making those machines in a little shop. And, right, COVID hit, we moved the factory, we bought another factory, it was just a crazy ramp up. And then we are at the factory where we are now. It's such a ride that we had a group from, it's called Repack. It's probably the #1 company in the world for bag making equipment. They got 8 factories. They have dominated. They have transformed Amazon and all these companies with their paper bags. Work a lot with a lot of the big converters in the United States. Pro Impact is producer at Pack Expo. They're very strong, and they took over that company. But I'm still around. A lot of people like to talk and say I'm out of the pouch business. That's not true. I'm doubling down. I might be focusing more on lamination, slitting, and lasers and shrink sleeves now, right? But I'm still in the pouch business.
And I got to ask you, to the pouch man, like, what are a couple trends that you're seeing in pouches? Like, what are a couple new things happening in pouches?
Absolutely. Well, for sure, the digital has been an explosion. Digital is 1% of the entire business. But even though it's 1%, it is 100% on everybody's mind. It's like saying, oh, Uber's not going to take, it's not going to be digital. Of course, everything's going to be digital in the future. And, you'll have analog. But, as more and more this happens, the machines with artificial intelligence, they need to talk, and all needs to be in the digital age. I think the digital pouches are going more and more. I think the applications that maybe you might have saw in the U.S. that, oh, I'm only doing some pouches, is growing bigger and bigger into roll stocks, into applications that I've seen in Mexico, I've seen in Latin America, where my customers are doing 90% roll stock in digital. Where here in the United States is the opposite. I think you're going to see that here. You're going to see more specialty applications in different markets with the retort things, solvent-based application. But that's the big guys. The big guys are small. You'll see with more solventless. You'll see more thermal for fast time. You want your product in 3 days, thermal. I mean, I don't know any other way. You can't do it.
No, we have thermal.
You have thermal.
Yeah, we have thermal and solvent.
And solventless, and it you could solventless allows you on cost. Thermal has the quick time luxury finishes, which are amazing.
What about these box pouches? I'm hearing one about.
Good one. Well, when we sold the company, that was one of the investments that we had made with the Swiss into this technology. It hasn't been easy, but we're making several machines now for digital players, in smaller machines, more compact machines. And you'll see the Karlville Swiss. This is a big one.
What's great about the box pouch?
Well, the box bag right now, the box pouch, and really, it's really more the flat bottom pouch, because box bag is a trademark. But the flat bottom pouch is what it's good. It stands well on the shelf. It's got good, but the complicated part of that has been the change over time. The material, the waste, it's a lot of waste, and it's not for everybody. You should start in stand-up pouches, get your feet wet, and that could be something good. It's very, very popular for the pet food industry. It could be sold, and it has a nice display on the
really the
shelf.
On
the shelf, it has a good thing,
great.
And what's nice, it has terminated gussets, so it's very nice for filling. It's like a stand-up pouch, so it's got some really nice features. So I think I see that as a trend. I see that as a trend that will grow in the United States and throughout the world.
We got paper pouches growing in Europe.
Yes,
a lot.
Absolutely.
Moving away from plastic to use paper as well.
Yeah.
Do you see that coming to America?
And I was just saying that, I just been seeing some big brands get some paper pouches, and but they've been wrapped other candies inside with chocolate. I can't remember the brand, but I see that happening a little bit in the United States. I think we need to, one of the biggest issues have been the supply chain of the paper, the coating. I mean, the mail business for sure has just migrated a very large portion into paper.
Right.
Although you still have the poly mailers, but you still paper. But the paper pouch will grow in the United States as applications start to go, and people can figure out how to do the coating,
right?
Which is a little bit more complex. Wisconsin is very well known for paper. We've got a very strong part and history in paper. I mean, some of our companies are dating back to the 1800s making machines. So the group has been around for a little bit.
So you're always an innovator. That's basically how you think, right? So a lot more happening with innovative decorations pouches too, right?
Absolutely.
I think you just installed on a couple of your slitters the ability to do decorative features, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, decoration, it's funny. It's like the digital. It's maybe 5% of the business might be with embellishments and things like that, but it drives a lot of innovation, because maybe you can get that phone call. You get that call because you might enter and lead with the embellishments. It might be the smallest order, and maybe get another order, but it helps you to give some new things to your buyers, your things. So on embellishments, we've worked with JetFX with Ed, and we've integrated the JetFX into our slitter. That has been an interesting thing. And what is nice about it, that technology, Ed, it's funny, Ed and I have very similar paths in our lives. I mean, when I signed with HP, we kind of signed like we made the machines. he signed, he was working with HP. HP was making machines until he took over, and he's now working with the inks and things like that. So I see that as a growth area. Also in the coding side, we talked about coding, which, we're experts. I mean, that's what we do, but we do the large machines, large big things. It's just a matter of time. So
I saw a beautiful pouch this weekend. I was in the store and they were using decorative coatings with raindrops.
beautiful.
High gloss raindrops against a soft touch matte background.
Incredible.
So the raindrops kind of just
yeah,
burst off the pouch and you couldn't miss them on the shelf.
100%.
I mean, literally couldn't miss it. And they did it all on kind of a purple background.
Incredible.
So design's important, right?
Oh, it's a matter of, it's a 30 seconds. They talk about, the shopper, goes that you just want that person just to grab your product and then they bring it to you. And then before they put it into the cart, they might have like 1 second or two to make a decision if they want it or not. And, shrink sleeves, it's funny, we saw this at Clemson University. They had they have that like supermarket where it's a fake supermarket. And they put, there's a camera following your eyes and things like that. And shrink sleeves, because of the shapes were one of the biggest things that drove your eye to grab it. So shrink sleeves had that, but in embellishments got some of the colors. Also, there's colors, and these types of things will help. So, I think companies more and more will find those specialty items and embellishments, coating, finishes, because it's, once okay, you see it, but once you touch that pouch, it's got to feel luxury. That feels good.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it's got to be Gucci.
It's got to feel good.
Gucci, Valley.
I got to shout off.
Bottega.
Every time I see you, you're carrying around your own little bag of pouches that you've collected from your customers.
Always.
Buying them in the store.
Always.
So if you were going to give people a couple design tips about designing a pouch, doesn't have to be graphics, could even be like the technical side. What would you tell people makes a successful pouch?
Well, besides the complexities of the quality to make sure they don't leak, which is probably the most complex part of this business.
We don't want leaky pouches.
We don't want leaky pouches. So, for me, it's the feeling, and that's why the thermal has been such a great technology, because when you touch a pouch, the softness is incredible, or the grittiness. We just made some pouches for HP for the Ferrari campaign for Drupa, and we just made them with grit like a sandpaper. Oh my God, that was incredible. So you're touching it, it's almost like you don't want to throw it away.
So you want to think about the feel of the pouch.
I like the feel.
I like the
feel. I like the feel. Is important to me. And then obviously, the closure is important. If it's a child resistant, child deterrent, is it, which is more for, in your industry here, in your pharma, pouches can replace rigid packaging.
Right.
And you're talking about just to make, if you take a Walgreens or a CVS and just take a calculator and calculate how many pounds they use in plastic in rigid versus going all to flexible, I think you could find got a war there of how much you could save. I'm just saying that pouches, the design itself, it's not the feel, the sizing, the placement of the zipper. These types of things are very important.
Being able to get the items in and out of the pouch, is, I think, vastly underrated. I'm helping one of our customers design a pouch now, and one of the things they're really evaluating is how easy it is
to fill.
Not to fill, but for the consumer to get the product.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
I want the consumer to feel like the pouch is really friendly to them.
Correct.
To remove the product that's inside. Because have you ever, sometimes I've gotten into some pouches and it's really hard, to get down in there and get it.
Yeah.
But they're spending a lot of time thinking about the customer experience of opening the pouch and getting the product out.
Absolutely. Well, and there you have the design firms, like our good friend Kaleidoscope, from Chicago, that those design firms that, they have the people to open it close it, and feel it like, they have different age groups also. And you kind of see those ads of somebody with a bottle and just, trying to rip it open, laser scoring, just so it just opens up, simple, but yes, so complicated. There's so much competition, and you want to make sure your product shines, touches, feels good, everything. So
Yeah, I won't buy a pouch or a product the second time if it's in.
It's like a bad restaurant.
Yeah.
Bad food. Oh my God, horrible. Not good.
Well, Raul, you've done a lot to help Nosco get into flexible packaging.
It's always been a pleasure.
You were like the instigator here.
Thank you.
You helped create the vision, and you helped us with all of our downstream, equipment after the Indigo, and got us all set up. So thank you for all your.
Oh, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this. I always say it's an opportunity. It takes, it's a whole team, from the service guys to the manufacturing, it just makes it easy for the sales guys. It makes it easy for me to have a teams of, Karlville Converting, Karlville Swiss, Repack, all these different companies that we own, and some of them that we invested in, or someone that, we have shares in. It's a team, not easy. But
Well, you guys have done a great job supporting us along the way and helping us grow the business. So thank you.
Thank you.
To you, our customers, thanks for supporting us in our FlexPack business. Thanks for working with Nosco. We hope you've enjoyed another Unpacked podcast. Really, we're trying to bring you thought leadership about packaging. And today you're heard from Raul, one of the thought leaders in flexible packaging.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig.
Take care.
Thank you.